Should I get a home inspection before I list my home? What are some of the common items that home inspectors find in home inspections? And should I get a home inspection on a new construction? Hi, this is Mike Wagner with the Casby Real Estate Group. Join me today as I discuss home inspections with Bryan Kirkham. Hi, I'm with Bryan Kirkham, and he's with Utah Property Inspectors, and we're here to talk about home inspections today, Bryan. And so some of the things I want to know today is, number one, should a seller get a home inspection before they put their home on the market, and why?
Well, basically, what a pre-listing inspection does is it's just nice that the buyer, because a lot of buyers don't know the condition. A lot of people live in these houses, they don't get up on the roofs, they don't check things out. So they're unaware of the condition and they're assuming the house is in sellable condition.
Just because they don't have a leak through their ceiling, they think the roof is in good condition or whatever, right?
Nobody gets up there in case, unless there is a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can get up there and do a pre-inspection for a seller, and then they can have that for a buyer. Of course, the buyer may always want to go get their own inspection, but at least the seller knows what he may be looking at for repairs and that kind of thing if he sells his house.
It just eliminates that last, the buyers come in, they choose to have their own inspector, and now some conditional items are brought up that nobody was aware of, including the seller. Okay. So it's just nice that everybody's aware of it. The seller, a lot of times on these pre-listing inspections, as long as it's a reputable company that's been around for a while, the buyers are even good to use that inspection because they feel like they got a quality inspection. They'd
be fine to use that inspection. Okay, and because I've run across buyers before that are a little bit leery of that. They'd be like, oh no, I think I might want to get my own inspector in there, and I get that. Yeah. But I also know you. I mean, you're just independent. You don't care if it's for a buyer or seller. You're just the middleman, and you're just reporting. You're just calling balls and strikes. That's it.
Yeah, and it just gives you a good general idea of the condition of the property for the seller and the buyer.
Okay. All right. So I guess the next thing I would ask is, on existing homes, are there more things that you find common in inspections than not? I mean, I know that it seems like, and you've done several inspections for me. I mean, tens and if not hundreds. But anyway, it seems like one of the most common items that we see is a leaky P-trap under the sink that's got clogged with hair or whatever else and has leaked and caused damage under the sink. And when we know that is because everybody piles their stuff under the sink and they're unaware of that's even happening, right?
Including me.
Including you. Okay, so having said that, what are maybe 5 of the most common do you see?
Condition of the roof. Okay. Because a lot of times the sellers don't get up there, they're unaware of it. So a lot of times, and we've been up to houses where you pull up, the roof looks great until you get up on the roof. And then there's a conditional issue. Grading, landscaping, sloping towards the foundation, that's another one. Extending rain gutters and cleaning rain gutters out. Would probably be, and then of course, we have double tap breakers, smoke detectors that are expired. So that's a rundown on some of the things we see consistently in almost every inspection.
Right. Yeah. And some of those are safety issues, right? The smoke detectors are. Yeah. I would say that here in Utah, when they dig a basement, and I've done a video on this negative slope before, but when they dig a basement, after a few years, your soil settles around that foundation, and it will settle even faster if you don't have those rain gutter extensions, right?
Absolutely.
And you can cause some real problems for your basement, foundation, possibly even cracking if it's not taken care of properly.
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, I had an inspection not too long ago in Utah County. We won't disclose the information, but with a lack of rain gutter extensions it had settled the east side of the house, the foundation.
The whole east side of the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, so a $20, $15 part
Yeah.
could have taken care of thousands and thousands of dollars of
now that doesn't
repairs.
happen all the time.
No,
Let's
it
get
doesn't.
get that straight. But every now and then we come across things that, you know, could have easily been corrected to save them thousands of dollars.
I will, having said, you know, having been a builder in Utah for years and years, I know that the soil here in Utah is very clay, and it doesn't always get compacted when they put those things in there. As a matter of fact, very seldom does it. And so, and I would even say, don't ever even put any sprinklers up against the house at all.
Divert everything away.
Divert
And then
everything
one
away.
other thing that we could add to that, that's a common, is everybody knows this, is exterior concrete. Walks, driveways, steps, porches that we see settle all the time, even in newer construction houses.
Newer construction, I know there's a neighborhood now that they're dealing with, I don't even think the homes are a year old, and the garages have settled, the driveways have settled, the porches have all fallen off the homes, brand new homes.
Well, and I think that's one other thing we need to probably talk about too, is when you drive around the neighborhoods and we start seeing settlement to driveways and walks and porches, 9 times out of 10, that is just the exterior concrete. That has nothing to do with the foundation structure.
True.
So a lot of people kind of get freaked out, you know, and maybe some new real estate agents that really don't know that, hey, that's not the structure. That's just the exterior concrete.
That is the exterior concrete, but from the other side of that is the builder just needs to take a little extra care to compact that and get gravel under that and try to do everything that they can to keep that from settling. I mean, the top of the concrete, you can try to keep it sealed here in Utah when you get that freeze thaw all the time, but you're going to see spalling driveways everywhere. And even in brand new homes that have been maybe gone through a year in Utah, right? You're going to see that all the time.
Basement floors. I mean, they crack before they actually even move into the house. Brand new houses, you know. So that goes to show you how much flexing and contracting there is in the soils.
So there was always one guarantee when I had building for clients. They would ask me, well, do you guarantee your concrete? And I would say, yes, I guarantee that nobody will steal it and it will crack. Those are the two guarantees that I can give you on concrete, and that's pretty much it.
That's a guarantee.
Okay, so maybe the next thing that I would ask you, Bryan, going back to some of the newer homes, would you advise buyers to get an inspection on a brand new construction?
Of course, because the thing that we see as home inspectors is those houses have never been lived in. I don't know how many different subcontractors go into constructing a house, and if that house has never been lived in, sometimes we find stuff, the bugs have never been worked out. Now that's not all the time, but we do see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because homes are, I mean, they're built by human beings and they make mistakes, and so so it's just like a car, you know. You take your car back to the dealer if something rattles loose on it. A home is no different.
Well, and really and truly for like new home buyers, we see it a lot. Like people go in, they buy the house, they live in it for 3 or 4 or 5 years, and they go to sell it. And there are some issues that sometimes the city officials miss or they overlook. And now that problem is now the sellers, which should have been addressed prior to them moving in by the contractor.
That's true.
And you always kind of feel bad that problem is theirs and they don't have no clue that it's even there.
Okay.
So that's always nice, is it saves the sellers from having a problem when they go to sell it.
Right, because you know what you're looking for in new construction. And the buyers that's walking through on their final inspection with maybe an agent that represents the seller or the builder or anything like that, gives them a roll of blue tape and says, here, go put this on any of the spots that you find with paint. Well, that's obvious. But it's all the hidden things, or things,
the notched out floor joists that didn't get caught by the city. That I mean, and the buyers are just depending on everybody doing helping them get through the transaction. So they're not really looking at the things that like the engine underneath the hood of a car. And that's where a home inspector can actually help benefit them from having problems after they move in.
Right, and so that's our job to educate the buyers and the public about the home that they're buying, about the home that they're selling. And so if you need help with that, give us a call. We'll hook you up with Bryan, and he's an amazing inspector. And then here at Casby Group, I mean, I'm always willing to help you too. And this has been Mike Wagner with the Casby Real Estate Group.